So in continuation to technology development and transfer, we already discussed that initially product or the formula is developed at the R&D scale in the pilot plant, then it is scale up, so it is transfer into the industry for large scale production. So it is called as the technology transfer. There is transfer of everything: documentation, method, process, qualification of instruments, and all these things. So here we go with the next theme: transfer from R&D to production. So for this transfer from R&D to production, so what transfers? We transfer process, some packaging related and cleaning related information. So always that SU receive that RU that receiving unit जो है, they got all this from the SU, that is the sending unit. The RU should be able to accommodate the intended production capacity, means the property or the they say that they have to they want to prepare a thousand 1 lakh batch of the tablet, so they maybe have that capacity to prepare the that much quantity of the tablet. So this is the first requirement. Then afterwards some requirements are for production support and process development. uh, at the RU side, there must be the level and the depth of detail to be discussed, and there must be a support production and any other further process development, and there is also a support for the technical expertise, site technology, site capability, and at the same time that optimization at the RU, that is the receiving unit, are to be intended under the this transfer projection plan. So what that transfer covers? There is a supply or there is help related to the documentation and the level and depth of the detail to be transferred, technical expertise, size technology, site capabilities, then also the optimization at that particular site plant. So then YESU should identify process robustness issued for the proper working of the plant at the RU. Then SU and RU should jointly develop a protocol for the transfer of relevant information. Then technology transfer process, what it contains? It contains API and the excipients. Here we generally said it as a starting materials. So how this technology transfer process helps in API and excipients transfer process? So the specification and relevant functional characteristics of the starting materials. Specification means its color, odor, taste, physico-chemical properties like, and some functional characteristics are also there. So it should be consistent. Consistent means what? The properties or the specification of the SU unit received at the SU unit should have same functions of the properties for that RU unit. That is the RU means what? Receiving unit. Then the any properties which are likely to be influence the process or the product should be identified and characterized. Means they saying that this process, this color or some change, there is changes, differences in between SU and RU unit, it must be identified and it must be characterized. Then we move towards the active pharmaceutical ingredients. So when we talk about the active pharmaceutical ingredient, it is called as the APIs. The SU, that is the sending unit, should provide the RU with the open part of the API master file. API master file, इसको हम लोग बोलते हैं API MF or drug master file or active substance master file or equivalent information and any other relevant additional information on the API. Means all the information related to the APIs should be uh, should be provided to the SU. So what information there should be a transfer of what information? Manufacturing and associated supply chain means who are the manufacturer or who supplies these such types of APIs or excipients to the company. Then steps of the API to be transferred, how it get transferred. Then flow chart of synthesis pathway. If there is synthesis is to be carried out for that particular APIs, then flow chart it will contain outlining the process, including entry points for the raw material. When we add the raw material, some critical steps in manufacturing, then the process controls and intermediates in there. Then where relevant, definitive physical form of the APIs. What will be the physical form? Then some polymorphic or the solvent form are also there. So that must be defined there. Then the solubility profile of the API, then the pH of the solution, then the partition coefficient of that particular API with the method of determination for that particular coefficient, partition coefficient. Then the intrinsic dissolution rate, including the method of determination. Then next step is the particle size and distribution, including the method of determination. Then the bulk density, tap density, then a surface area, porosity of that particular API, then water content and determination of hygroscopy, including water activity data and spatial handling requirements. Next requirement is the microbial contamination considerations. Some it should includes the sterility, bacterial endotoxins, some bioburdens, in accordance with the national or regional or international pharmacopoeial requirements. If there is chances of some microbial growth or there may be it is susceptible to the microbial contamination, so it must be written that how it will be detected, how it will be eliminated, what will be the minimum criteria. Then next is the next requirement or transfer requirement is the specification and justification for release and end of life limits. Then uh, summary of stability studies conducted in conformity with the current guidelines. Some guidelines are there for the country for which they are going to manufacture. They have different guidelines. So according to that, they have to prepare a stability study. So they should produce a summary, that is the temperature, humidity, percent retain, or some test to be performed likewise. Then some list of potential or observed synthetic impurities. Some impurities are there, they found some impurities, so they must list that impurities. Or some potential, maybe it may present, if it may be occurred in later stage likewise, with the data to support proposed specifications and typically observed level, means minimum what level they had observed and what will be the acceptance criteria likewise. Then the next requirement is that information on degradants with a list of potential and observed degradation products and data to support proposed specification and typically observe level. Everything that observe, what they observe, what data they get, likewise they must get. Then the potency factor indicating observed purity and justification for any recommended adjustment to the input quantity of API for product manufacturing, providing example, calculations, and some special consideration related to the storage and handling. It may contain sensitivity to the heat, if they are the heat sensitive or light sensitive or moisture sensitive APIs are there. So all these information related to the API should be transferred from SU to RU. Then this is all about the excipients. So it was all related to the APIs. Now we will go towards the requirements for the excipient. So excipients means the product other than our pharmaceutical ingredient, that is APIs. So the excipient to be used have a potential impact on the final products. Their specification and relevant functional characteristics should be therefore be made available by the SU for the transfer to the RU site. Some information which to be transferred or required uh, maybe depends upon, and maybe assays or maybe change depends upon the QRM, that is the principles of quality risk management. Some informations typically provided, we listed here, are the manufacturer and associated supply chain repeated with that APIs, its function, what is the function of APIs, then definitive form means in which form it is available, like maybe amorphous, crystal, or any types of crystal, which types of crystals are there. It is related particularly when we talk about the definitive form. So it is related to the solid or inhaled dosage forms. Then solubility profile is there. If we going to we are going to prepare for the transdermal dosage form, then this solubility profile or some liquid dosage form is to be prepared. Then this solubility profile is very important. Then partition coefficient, with their method of determination, and it is again really important for the transdermal dosage form if you want to go for that transdermal dosage form. Then next is the intrinsic dissolution rate, with its method of determination when we going for the transdermal dosage form. Then next is the uh, that particle size and distribution with the method of determination. Again, when we go for solid or inhaled products or for transdermal dosage form, this point is very important. Then the bulk density, tap density, surface area, and porosity. Again, it is required for the solid dosage form. So all these information related to our APIs, that is its bulk density, particle size, its intrinsic solubility, its melting point, its pH, its ionic strength, its viscosity, its viscoelasticity, its osmolarity should be provided by the SU to RU. So that's why we get a detailed information about the excipient. See, manufacturer, who are the manufacturer, function of that excipient in that particular dosage form, its forms, maybe amorphous crystal, in which solvent it will be soluble, its partition coefficient, intrinsic dissolution rate, particle size, bulk density, compaction properties. All these properties are the very general properties when we other points are the water content and determination of hygroscopicity, then moisture content, then microbial consideration, then specification and justification for release and the end of the life limits, then some adhesive supporting compliances when we go with that transdermal dosage forms. So this is again the very important aspects. Then the spatial storage and handling considerations are also required, and this uh, not this may be related to that, may be included in that MSDS, that is the material safety data sheets, and also the sensitivity to the heat, light, or moisture are to be considered or to be transferred, and some regulatory consideration. For example, when we talk about this regulatory, then documentation to support compliances with the transmissible animal spongiform encephalopathy certification requirement. Whenever such documentation is required, means they are having some specific uh, test to be performed, or some what information we should share related to the finished pharmaceutical products. The information, that is the SU, should provide a detailed characterization of the products, including its qualitative and quantitative composition, then its physical description, its method of manufacture, then in-process controls. We already discussed what is the meaning of in-process controls. Then control method and specifications. Then packaging components and configuration, and any safety and handling considerations about the products, the product which had produced in the that SU unit, and if that but same product is to be reflected at the RU units. So when the product has prepared, so products related, then that SU uh, should provide that information on the history of process development, how they develop the process, and any other further required to enable the RU to perform any further development and or process optimization after successful transfer. Means after that, what is the steps in the development, what is the steps in the optimization, after that developments. Optimization means what? Here we go for some information to be shared is related to the clinical development. When we talk about the clinical development, information on the rationale for the synthesis, route and form selection, technology selection, equipment clinical tests, and product composition are to be studied under this heading. Then information on scale up activities, which we should share, like process optimization, statistical optimization of critical process parameters, then critical quality attributes, then pilot reports and or information on the pilot scale development activities, indicating the number and deposition of batches manufactured. Next one is the information on report on full scale development activities. It indicates the activities, indicates that the number and the disposition of batches manufactured and deviation and some change control. We develop some reports over that deviation and change control. So all this to be transfer, which leads to the current manufacturing process. Related to that current manufacturing process, the reports related to that change and all these things we should transfer. Then the change history and results. For example, a change control log indicating any changes to the process or primary packaging or analytical methods as a part of process optimization or improvement. Then some information on investigations of problem and the outcomes of the investigations are to be transferred. Then the that SU should provide to the RU information related to any health or safety and environmental issue associated with the manufacturing processes. For example, need of gloves or protective clothing to protect that particular person working with that products from contamination, or to prevent ill hazards to his health if they are producing some steroids or some potent drugs. So all these health related and safety related issues to be transferred. Then the SU should provide to the RU information on current processing and testing units, including some points like a detailed description of facility requirement and equipment, which facility they will have and some requirements. Then information about the starting materials, which may be included in that MSDS, storage requirements, raw materials requirement, finished products requirements. Then manufacturing steps they carried out. So description about that manufacturing steps. Then descriptions about the analytical methods. Then identification and justification of control strategies. For example, identification of critical performance. Okay, some aspects for the specific dosage forms, identification of process control points, product quality attributes, and qualification of critical processing parameter ranges, some statistical process controls likes. Then design space is there, When we go for the optimization purpose, we go with that design space. So information on that design space should be studied with. Then after that design space, we can have validation information related to that products, like plans or reports. Then some annual product quality reviews, if they should be transferred. Then some stability related informations. Then authorized set of protocols and work instruction for manufacturing. Then some environmental conditions or any special requirements needed for the facility or equipment, depending upon the nature of the product to be transferred. Depending upon the nature, if we have to change, we have to need to change some environmental conditions for that particular equipment, say the temperature or the humidity, likewise. So it should be provided. Then during the transfer process, the RU should identify any differences in the facilities or some system capabilities, and commence with the SU about these differences to understand its impact on the our product or the quality of our products. Say they may be lacking some instruments or some temperature related issue, so that RU should communicate it with the RU, and they say that it is okay or we have to modify that to get a product of good quality. And there must be this differences is related to the facilities or system and capabilities. So it must be communicated, and that difference should be understood and satisfactorily addressed. Means the difference between the SU and RU should be understood by that SU, and it should be communicated by the RU in a good manner, and it should be uh, uh, resolved, and it should be accepted, or it should be changed. There should be a change as per the requirement based upon the information related that receive from the SU. RU should consider its own capabilities to manufacture and pack these products to the required standards, and should develop relevant plant operations and documentation before the start of the production. Then some process development at RU should address the following tasks. Number one is the when that process is development at receiving unit, what they should perform, that is the comparison and assessment of suitability and qualification of facility. The facility demanded or enlisted by the SU, or the equipment demanded by the SU. So its comparison and suitability and assessment at the RU should be verified. Then description of manufacturing process and flow of personnel and of material at the RU. How much personnel are required, materials, how materials is required, how we procure them, likewise. Then determination of critical steps in the manufacture, including the that drying time, blending time, sampling time, likewise. Then writing and approval of SOPs for the production operation, like we have to dispense the granules, or we have to uh, transfer the material from manufacturing sites to the that storage site after that finished material. Then tablet compression parameters, tablet coating, all these things, there must be a SOP must be there. Packaging, cleaning, testing, storage, all these are that SOPs are required. How you will pack, likewise. Then the evaluation of stability information with generation of site-specific stability data it is required. Then some compliance with the regulatory requirements is there. Then it should be required, like the bench size. Then the next one is the packaging. When we talk about this packaging, the transfer of packaging operation should follow the same procedure with that of production transfer. Then some informations on packaging to be transferred from SU to RUR, specification related to that containers and closure, then design of that container closure, packaging, processing of design of that containers and closure, labeling requirement related to that containers and closure, then anti-counterfeiting measures needed for the qualification of packaging components at the RU. All these are the requirement. Next is the that QC testing of packaging component. Specification should be provided for drawing, artwork and materials, like if they are using glass, cards, fiber boards. So specifications, what are they having likewise. Then suitability study for initial qualification of packaging components. Some suitability study is to be performed. Then next one is the cleaning. After doing all these things, after manufacturing of batches using APIs and excipients, cleaning is most important. During the manufacturing process, pharmaceutical products and API can be contaminated by other pharmaceutical products. So for that, cleaning is requirement. Cleaning reduces the risk of contamination, cross contamination likewise. So that SU should provide information related to that cleaning to reduce or minimize the cross contamination. And that information, if they produce that information, definitely there may be a reduction in the contamination, and we get a product with the predetermined standards. Then how we implement this processing, packaging and cleaning system. So by doing trial batches, we came to know all these things, and then we go for the validation. Then during the trial batches, all clinical processing parameters and finished product specification should be addressed. And once process capability has been established at the RU, process validation and cleaning validation can be carried out. And we can refer these WHO guidelines for this. So